Hey guys, it's Rig, I'm back again, and today I wanted to make a quick little video just going through some ideas that I had on my mind that would really help you guys in the future, and just going through some mistakes that I made in my lifting journey that I can share with you guys just to help your journey out a little bit better. And yeah. Now, if you guys are doing any of these mistakes that I'm doing on the list, it would be best to probably stop doing them, but also be aware that just because it might not be optimal doesn't mean that it won't work. Because the natural limit, it's really a topic that really doesn't exist. No matter like how old you are or where you are in life, you can always make progress. So yeah, just think about that. And yeah, if you're doing anything on this list, don't get too down upon it. You can always just change your training, and you'll probably make changes just like that. So yeah, let's go to this list. So for the first mistake that I've been making, that I actually made really early in my lifting journey, is not prioritizing and training stubborn muscles such as your calves, your forearms and abs, just because I thought there would be no meaningful difference. So this came from the idea of many fitness influencers who really just say compound lifts such as deadlifts or rows or squats. They're going to build your calves, your abs, your forearms, this just really isn't true, because isometric training, while it's going to help a little bit, it's not really going to maximize your progress. And if you have like twig calves, you really think squats is going to help you out? Come on. So for these quote unquote stubborn muscles, for your calves, I recommend just doing any calf raise. It can be seated or standing. For forearms, I recommend reverse curls, hammer curls, wrist extensions, wrist flexion with a dumbbell or a barbell. And what was the last one? Oh yeah, abs. You guys got to think about it. When you are thinking of a movement that hits the abs or really any other muscle, you got to really know your biomechanics just a little bit. It doesn't need to be too much. But the abs, the main function is flexion of the trunk. So basically, you want to choose any crunch movement. It can be a cable crunch, it can be even a leg raise, which really compresses your spine and really makes your abs contract. And that will be the main function of your abs. And while we're here, something I learned from basement bodybuilding is understanding volume and understanding that volume really isn't a main driver of growth. The main driver of growth is intensity, right? So what you want to do is start out with the very lowest volume that you can and train it really hard. Train every set to failure, and then say you're doing 2 sets, do it twice a week, see if there's any growth. If not, of course, increase the volume and see where you go from there. Okay, and now the second one is going to be the mistake of not bulking. So what you have seen recently in the science-based community and really all the fitness influencers in general, they're saying that bulking is vaulted, it doesn't really need to be a thing anymore, and you can just make gains from main gaining. In theory, this should work because muscle is really grown in grams. So the building blocks of muscle, it takes a really long time anyway. So a bulk really shouldn't enhance or excel that speed at any time. But what I've noticed is without bulking, main gaining, progress has been a lot slower, and it's a lot harder to measure your progress as well. Yeah. In my experience of main gaining, it's really hard to stay at the same weight and understand if you are gaining muscle or fat at the same time. But whether it's bulking, you know you're gaining muscle and fat at the same time. So it's a much more nuanced experience where you kind of know what you're getting and you know that there's progress being made in comparison to main gaining, where your weight was always fluctuating at the same time. With a bulk, you have solid parameters to focus on, get stronger, get bigger, gain some weight over time, and then slowly you can just cut down after that. And also, you have the motivation to eat, so you can pretty much eat most of the things you like. As long as it's clean food, you should be making progress. And the studies focused on main gaining versus bulking aren't really reliable anyway. They're done over a very short period of time where the bulk gains a lot of fat in the short term, but they don't really understand the concept of long term where the bulking, it you don't gain weight linearly. After a certain point in time, it's a lot harder to gain weight than at the very start. So they don't really take that into account. So I've noticed once I've had a lot of body fat, eating and just living in general, you you really start to pick around your food and you don't really have the motivation to eat as much anyway. So there's not really a linear graph where you just keep on eating and keep on gaining body fat. At a point, you just kind of stabilize and you become in a very good place for muscle building, I'd say. And yes, if we're talking about dirty bulking, yes, that is vaulted. Bro, if you're eating McDonald's and shit, I know it's gonna make you strong really quickly, but man, do you care about your health at all? Your cholesterol is gonna be high, your sodium's gonna be high, your face is gonna be puffy as fuck. So, guys, just eat clean, eat a lot, you should be all good. If you look at the best naturals like Alex Leonidas, GVS, Old Omni-Man, Natural Hypertrophy, they're all people that have, even though they have long histories of lifting, right? They keep making gains every year. And the reason I believe that they are making these gains is because they are bulking and cutting. And the final one of this video is a bit controversial, and it's really not even a bad thing, but in my opinion, running the push-pull legs program is really overrated. I know the push-pull legs split is a very, how should I say this? A well-loved split that people use, but in my opinion, there's just way too many caveats that an average lifter, shouldn't be really using it as the main split of their routine. So this was my main split that I used back in high school, around year 12. And I really thought that it was the best because I'm training every muscle group twice a week, 6 sessions. And because you'd always think more is more, you'd get more gains. But in reality, it really wasn't what I needed. But because I was a novice at the time, I could really train at high volumes just because I really wasn't that strong. But if I were to use push-pull legs today, and for most of you guys, I wouldn't recommend it. And that would just be because of how many days you have to be in the gym and how little rest days you get. So you guys must be thinking, oh, but yeah, because if you push, you have, let's say if you're doing push-pull legs repeat, you push on the first day, and then your triceps, they get to rest on the pull day, and they get to rest on the leg day, and then you hit push again. So right, that's 2 days. That's 2 days free up, right, with no training. But the thing is, the main part of your. But the thing is with that, your CNS, so basically your CNS is your brain connected to your spinal cord. When you're pushing really hard in the gym, it affects your CNS. So this carries over to the next day, and the next day, and the next day after that. So this is why I really value rest, and why you should probably have 1 or 2 rest days within your training days. At the moment, I'm running full body, so I do 3 training days a week. So I have 4 rest days. It really helps me feel recovered for every session, so I can push as hard as I can without any caveats or without any blocking in motivation. Now, if you're using the split and you really like it, there's no reason that you shouldn't use it, other than the reasons that I just stated. Because if you do really like something and you're able to stay consistent with it, that is the best thing you can do, really. Because no matter what, in the fitness industry, if you're a natural, consistency is the main key. As long as you're consistent and training hard, you should be fine. You'll make great gains. But yeah, especially in the time of HSC, I would definitely go back and either run an upper lower 4 times a week, so not 6 times, and that or either full body 3 or 2 times a week. That would have just fit my schedule a lot better. I probably could have got a lot more studying done. Yeah, so just advice for you guys. And I was supposed to end the video here, but I thought about another one that was really important, which was program hopping. So basically just changing programs all the time. So the problem with program hopping is while you're still staying consistent in a little bit of a way, you're not really maximizing your progress, sticking to one system that you know works. When you're program hopping, you don't know if your system is changing or how that is affecting your body. And what you would need to realize with natural bodybuilding is that it's all just a patience game. Um, the whole process of building muscle, especially when you're natural, is very slow. It takes a long time. It's a grueling process. So just learning to stay patient and believe in your training methodologies. Hopefully they're good, and to make progress in the future rather than hip hopping, switching all the time. And with that, this is pretty much all the advice that I have to give. Hopefully you guys can adopt some of these lessons and maybe get some better progress out of your training. And with that, I'm going to watch the FIFA and just relax on my Sunday. See you guys.